All right, welcome. If you're getting ready for the Life in the UK test, you've probably figured out there's one topic that's a real headache for a lot of people, the country's composition. So in this guide, we're going to break it all down, piece by piece, and make sure you're totally ready for any question they can throw at you. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with the big one, shall we? You hear people say the UK, Great Britain, sometimes just Britain. What's the deal? Can you just use them whenever? What is the actual difference? Look, it's a super common point of confusion and an easy mark to lose on the test. But don't you worry, by the end of this, you'll know the difference like the back of your hand.
So, how do we even begin to untangle this puzzle? Well, you start at the beginning, right, with the foundation, and that is the country's official name. If you get this right, everything else just clicks into place.
So, here it is. The full, formal, official name of the country is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Now, what's so great about this is that the name itself is basically a cheat code. It's a formula that literally tells you what the country is made of. Let's break that formula down. The political thing we call the United Kingdom is actually a union of 4 separate countries. You have got to know these 4 by heart: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So when you say the UK, what you're really talking about are these 4 places all joined together as one single state.
Now this is super important for the test, so listen up. You'll notice that only Northern Ireland is on that list. That's because the rest of the island of Ireland is a totally separate, independent country called the Republic of Ireland. It is not part of the UK. Trust me, they love asking about this distinction on the test.
Right, so we've got the 4 countries locked in. Now we're going to tackle the #1 trap people fall into on this test, the difference between the United Kingdom and Great Britain. Getting this right is absolutely crucial.
So, what is Great Britain then? The key thing to remember here, and this is really the whole secret, is that Great Britain is a geographical term. It's not political. It's just the name for the big island that's home to England, Scotland, and Wales. That's it. Think of it as just the landmass itself.
And that's where the key difference becomes so clear. Great Britain is the main island. Since Northern Ireland is on a different island, well, it geographically can't be part of Great Britain. It's that simple. If you can just remember that fact about the island, you've dodged the biggest bullet on this topic.
And this just lays it all out perfectly, doesn't it? Honestly, the easiest way to think about it is like a math problem. Great Britain equals England plus Scotland plus Wales. The United Kingdom is just Great Britain plus Northern Ireland. That's the entire difference. Simple as that.
Okay, you're doing great. Now that we've nailed the main stuff, we've got to add one more layer of complexity. See, there are other territories that have a special relationship with the UK, but, and this is the important part, they are not part of the UK. And you can bet the test is going to try and trip you up on these. So first up, you have the Crown dependencies. These are pretty interesting. They're basically self-governing islands. They have their own laws and everything. Their link is directly to the monarchy, the Crown, not to the UK government. So for your test, the big headline you need to remember is they are not part of the United Kingdom.
And you 100% need to memorize these examples. The Channel Islands, which are Jersey and Guernsey, and the Isle of Man. When you see these names on the exam, your brain should immediately go, ah, Crown dependency, not part of the UK.
All right, next up are the British Overseas Territories, and the headline here is exactly the same as before. They are not part of the UK. A lot of these are what's left of the old British Empire, and while the UK might help with things like defense, they are absolutely not considered one of the 4 countries of the UK. And just like before, you gotta know the examples. The official study guide specifically points out St. Helena and the Falkland Islands. Get these names memorized. Honestly, knowing these names can be the one point that makes the difference on a tricky question. Okay, let's switch gears for a second. Let's cover just a couple of quick-fire geographic facts that could easily show up on the test. These are just a couple of easy points you'll want to have in your back pocket. First up, a simple one. Where is the UK? It's located off the coast of mainland Europe in the northwest. It's a basic fact, but, it's an easy point if it pops up. Okay, here's a number you might want to remember. The distance from the very top of the mainland to the very bottom is about 870 miles, or 1,400 kilometers. That's from John O'Groats, way up in the north of Scotland, all the way down to Land's End in the southwest of England. It's a classic trivia fact that's just perfect for a multiple-choice question. All right, we've covered a lot of ground.
We've got all the pieces of the puzzle. Now let's put it all together for one final review. Now, this next part, this is probably the most important slide of this whole thing. Seriously, this is your ultimate cheat sheet for this topic.
And there it is, your ultimate cheat sheet. You can see the United Kingdom right at the top, the political union of our 4 countries. Right below that, Great Britain, the geographical island with 3 of those countries. And then, so importantly, over on the right, you've got the places that are not part of the UK, with those key examples you have to know. I'm not kidding. Pause the screen, take a screenshot, do whatever you need to do. This table is gold.
So there you have it. You now have all the facts you need to totally nail these questions on the test. We've untangled the confusing terms, we've clarified the geography, but it all leads to a much bigger question. Why does this really complex structure, born from centuries of history, still play such a vital role in the identity and the politics of the United Kingdom today?